Meghan wows in £2,700 navy gown she previously wore at one of first polo events with Prince Harry as royal couple attend glitzy evening bash hosted by New Zealand's Prime Minister. The Prime Minister of New Zealand has praised the incredible Duchess of Sussex for continuing to work while pregnant. Jacinda Ardern, who gave birth to her own baby in June, lauded Meghan for the role she's playing at such an often tiring time, adding, "I have real empathy and I think she's incredible." The PM praised the couple as they arrived for one of their final engagements on their tour of New Zealand, Australia, Fiji and Tonga, which is now drawing to a close. The couple were a picture of elegance as they made their way into the Auckland War Memorial Museum, Harry looking dapper in a navy suit and unbuttoned white shirt and his wife in an Antonio Birardi dress, which retails at some £2,683. The Duchess recycled a gown which she wore back in May 2017 for one of her first polo events with Harry early in their relationship, at the Audi Polo Challenge in Coworth, Berkshire. The mother and father-to-be will head home after visiting Rotorua, having spent 4 days in the land of the long white cloud. The Duke of Sussex also showed his impressive language skills are as sharp as his sense of humor as he addressed a reception in 6 languages. Harry, addressing an audience of young people at a reception in New Zealand, offered his greetings in a few words of 6 languages: Samoan, Tongan, Fijian, Niuean, Cook Islands, and Maori. After rattling off Talo Falava, Samoan, Malo Ilelai, Tongan, Bulivinuka, Fijian, Fakulofilaiatu, Niuean, Kia-Orana, Cook Islands, and Tinakautu Katoa, Maori, Harry was applauded by the New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern and the Duchess of Sussex. He said, "This is definitely the first time I have spoken most of those languages, so I apologize if my accent wasn't any good, but I had to give it a go." The reception was aimed at celebrating Pacific cultures, with singing, dancing and conversation with young people working to lead their communities. The Duke also used his speech to joke about his morning's work wellywanging, which saw him narrowly beaten by his wife. "We're meeting little Kiwis, we're meeting big Kiwis, being treated to your fantastic food, culture and sporting activities. Well, if you can call wellywanging or gumboot throwing a sport," he said. "Perhaps we should have a 3-test series and see who comes out on top." Jacinda Ardern, introducing the royal couple, told an audience at the Auckland War Memorial Museum, "You all probably think you are here to meet our wonderful esteemed guests. But I'm sure their Royal Highnesses won't mind me saying this, they're actually here to meet all of you." She added, "Thank you for the warmth you have brought to your visit. Thank you for bringing such a genuine interest and focus on issues like mental health." The couple watched an energetic performance from dancers Saint Zup and singers Tone 6, with Harry nodding his head and tapping his foot as he got into the Polynesian rhythm. As they gave the performers a rapturous round of applause, young people aged 17 to 25 were arranged into small groups so they could come and mingle. The Duke told them, "You guys are amazing," while Meghan asked, "What issues are you working on?" Hearing about their concerns about the environment, diversity and mental health, the Duke, who is now a Commonwealth Youth Ambassador, told them he hoped to make people more aware of some of the issues that matter to you guys. Encouraging them to continue speaking out for their generation, he said, "This energy, this connectivity, it's all here in you." The Duchess listened closely to a group from charity Inspiring Stories, as young women spoke to her about empowering Indigenous minorities, getting young people involved in politics, and mental health. Speaking before a reception at the Auckland War Memorial Museum, Jacinda Ardern added, "There's a real connection between particularly William and Harry in recent years, so it's nice to have been able to host them in such close proximity." New Zealand, like Australia, is a constitutional monarchy and as such the Queen is their head of state, represented by a Governor-General. When asked if the question of whether the Duke and Duchess's visit has changed views on New Zealand becoming a republic, Ms. Ardern said, "It just really doesn't come up as much. The only time it really comes up is, often off the back of visits, people tend to ask the question." What you'll pick up from the New Zealand public is that there is a real affinity for the Queen and a real strength of feeling around members of the royal family, particularly given, in the wake of some of our disasters, that they've been quick to respond and be present. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex also donned a pair of stylish Wellington boots to take part in a welly-wanging contest while visiting Auckland on the third day of their royal tour of New Zealand. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's first engagement of the day was a trip to a native bush reserve at Red Vale on the city's north shore. The royal couple's main focus of the visit was to dedicate the 20-hectare, 49-acre, area of bush to the Queen's Commonwealth canopy. They unveiled a plaque recognizing the dedication to the QCC, which conserves indigenous forests for future generations, before planting trees at the site. But it was the Wellington boot throwing contest involving local schoolchildren which proved to be a hit with the crowds who turned out for the royal visit. Meghan's team emerged victorious, with the Duchess proving quite the natural in the unusual contest, given it was most likely her first time partaking in such a sport. She had swapped a stylish navy blue blazer for a black hooded zip-up jacket with a KI National Trust logo for the occasion, the same jacket her husband wore. The $219, pound $120/$155 Wellington boots worn by the couple are from the original Muck Boot Company. Meghan pressed her forehead and nose up against another woman for the traditional Hongi greeting while shaking her hand at a ceremony to dedicate the area of native bush to the Queen's Commonwealth canopy. Harry also embraced the woman's hand and gave her a similarly intimate Hongi hello at the ceremony. The couple received gifts from locals following the ceremony, including what appeared to be a knitted rug and a pair of green children's Wellington boots with cartoon characters on them. A drizzle of rain did not appear to dampen the spirits of Meghan, who appeared cheerful in the front row of the ceremony. Harry on the other hand appeared rather glum at one stage as he held an umbrella above himself and a man seated at his side. Meghan made good use of her Wellington boots in the wet weather, helping two school children plant a native tree to add to the area of bush in the Queen's honor. She appeared focused on the task at hand, as did her two young helpers, who also wore rain jackets and Wellington boots to protect them in the soggy conditions. The couple later joined with the country's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern in a visit to Pillars, a charity for children of prisoners operating across New Zealand. The charity, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year, a day earlier had spoken of their excitement about the royal couple's visit. "We are very much looking forward to welcoming the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to Pillars. It will be an exciting afternoon for our families and our staff and the small group of Pillars kids who will actually get to meet them," the charity wrote on Facebook. The final day of their Royal Highnesses tour will take place in Rotorua on Wednesday. The Duke and Duchess will head to Rainbow Springs to learn more about the center's Kiwi breeding program. Later that afternoon, Meghan and Harry will head into the city for the chance to meet members of the public gathered there. The royal couple then heads back to London. New Zealand is the fourth country the royal couple have visited on their mammoth 16-day tour following visits to Australia, Fiji, and Tonga.